week and a half ago to be able to say publicly, Delta Peanut is here. Phase 1 is up and going and running. And if I understood things right, you know, they expect to start taking delivery of peanuts in September at our location here in town. So that's jobs that's going to be added, and then, you know, the different phases that's going to be going through. It's going to be nothing but a plus for them. It was nice to see everybody work together, and you know, whenever they approached, you know, a few months ago about bringing this here, there's been a lot of hours put into this, along with, if you know where the walking trail is there, running north and south behind the Duncan County Jail. There's going to be a new road being put in there. That's going to make things a lot safer, not having, you know, 40 trucks a day going down Floyd Street, which is highly residential. This will be able to make those trucks go in and out. Because if you've ever driven up and down that road, you know, kids are out there playing, riding their bicycles, kicking a ball, and a truck carrying, what, 30,000 pounds of peanuts just can't stop on a dime like a 3,000 pound car. So that'll be good for it. You know, it's at the last one we also talked about, you know, jobs in town. That's one thing you don't see on Facebook anymore, somebody saying who's hiring, because everyone is hiring. My family and I just took a trip, and every place, every town, every hotel, restaurant, factory that we passed had a help wanted sign out. So if you've ever thought about what socialism is, you're right in the middle of it right now, folks. And because there's just not enough workers out there, you know, the city has jobs open, everything from, you know, McDonald's and Hardee's to Walmart. But, you know, there are plenty of jobs out there, there's just not enough workers out there to come up. And then plus here, and right after our next city council meeting, you'll be seeing, over the next 2 weeks, you'll start seeing tents go up and everything else. Fireworks season is right around the corner. The city has rules, ordinances on fireworks. Please obey them. Be honest with you, I'm not exactly 100% sure, but at the next city council, Chief, I would like for you to give a report on what the rules and regulations of fireworks in the city limits of Kennett are. Because they go on sale, what, 2 days after our next city council meeting. Yeah. And then hopefully by then we'll have the, Brother Matthew and I'll start working on the cameras, because they came in while I was gone. But police department, fire department, one for each one of your little buildings, and then we'll have another recorder for the administration building here. So whenever you're having council meetings, or committee meetings, another way to just safeguard all our notes and everything. We've got digital recorders that can be loaded down, and then once you have that, you know, send a copy to Brendan, and we'll keep a master copy. But those came in while I was gone as well. The camera and everything else came in, so we'll start working on that to get it put in here and update things a little bit. But besides that,
You might want to mention that the audit was done today.
yes.
Yeah, our annual audit, that we normally get towards the end of December, we did get today. They were running behind a little bit. So we do have that. We've really not had time to actually look at it, because we just got it about an hour before this meeting. So, but it is in for, you know.
And make sure they're there on the next finance meeting to assist us with the
Yeah.
budgeting process.
Okay. All right. Public comments.
I've complained to the city before, you're well aware of that. I've talked to you over the phone. I live behind this house. That is in terrible condition, and none of you care.
That's not true.
It's not true.
That's not true.
Then what have you done?
I've called Victor and the property management personnel, and they're following up with Terry and Mr. Paul's paying behind you. Terry can explain to you that there is a process that we've got to follow.
A process that you've got to follow.
Yes.
All right. This house has been in this condition going on 2 years.
I wasn't aware of it until 2
Nobody's
weeks ago.
nobody's been aware of it until I brought it to the attention. I was taking care of my husband, which I didn't have time to bring it forth. But there is a high-paying city official that lives right next door to this piece of property, right next door. He actually, when he cuts his grass, he leaves about a spot that long along the driveway that he doesn't bother to cut. He has not brought it to the attention of this board or to anybody in this city. The mayor is telling me that you have this process that you've got to go through. Now, I've waited a long time for this property to be taken care of. I talked to Pamela Scott this morning at the U.S. Agricultural Rural Development, which gave them the loan, which the federal gave these people a loan for this property at less than 1% interest. They left this property over a year ago. Now there is an organization in California that is paying the taxes on this piece of property for the federal government, that the federal government reimburses them for the taxes. I'm caught in the middle of all this. This piece of property has got poke salad, which we're all familiar with poke salad, over 8 feet tall. And we're saying a good crop of it in that backyard. A good crop of it. Which I go out in my backyard every day and pull up little pieces of poke salad. This morning, I picked up 2 out of my front yard. Now this is a crime that the city lets a piece of property go this way. Okay, now the Don folks, as far as I know, is the only person in Kennett that has looked at this backyard. And the only reason he did it is because of my complaints, and he peeked through the broken fence that you can see into the backyard. Now, my patients are running very thin on this problem. I don't know what the city's going to do about it. But believe me, I will fight it to the end. If I had to get a hold of the newspaper, if I had to go to Channel 12, Channel 8, whomever I've got to go to. And I'm not going to wait much longer to see something done on this piece of property. I have a son that is dying. He's got leukemia. I don't have time for this, but I will fight it. You better believe it. I will fight it. Something has to be done.
What's your address, ma'am?
My
Or
address,
for the house we're talking?
610
Marie.
610 Marie. He's in a wheelchair now. He wears a brace to hold his head up. And if you don't think I won't fight it, you're mistaken. I just want to let you know, I'm not too sure that I won't go to the newspaper tomorrow to see if they'll come and take pictures of this piece of property. It's a sin. It is a sin that this piece of property exists in Kennett. Kennett used I grew up here. Kennett was a great place to live. I'm not too sure right now, I don't want to live Kennett.
The backyard is really, really bad, but the front yard is almost as bad. It's got brush piled up in the front yard. The houses, there's all kinds of varmints living in it. I mean, there's cats. Tina really needs to go over there. There's baby cats, big cats, possums, you name it, it's in this yard.
Probably snakes.
There's brush piles back there that looks like they've been piled up for a year, 2 years, this big, I mean big. And it really is an eyesore. It really is.
But, you know, out of all,
This lady is a very nice lady, and she's not, you know, it just, somebody just needs to look at it
you know
to
what,
see what can be done.
what really gets me the most is the fact that a high-paying city official lived right next door to this piece of property and said nothing. There is a tree, a limb or a tree that fell, and it's been in the front yard for 2 years. For 2 years. And this man has never said anything, not one word, to the city. Now that's a sin.
The thing that I would like to
Did the
know
property
is,
management guys get a hold of you the last week or so?
Donnie said that he was out of town all
He
last
was on
week.
vacation, but prior to that, before he
No,
went on vacation?
no.
This was after the Delta Peanut groundbreaking that I had talked to him there at the groundbreaking. He was supposed to follow up that day. Matter of fact, he called me and he says he would that day. I haven't talked to him since then. He was on vacation. I don't know when he's supposed to be back, or is he back?
He's back.
He's supposed to be following up on that.
You sent a ticket to the
He did.
person
He did write
that,
a ticket?
No,
He did write-
He did follow up.
he did write a
He did
ticket to,
contact her.
He did contact you?
Yes. Donnie Folks, did he speak to you
Within the last week or so?
last,
I think so, hasn't it?
right before he left?
right before he left, yes,
Yes.
yes he
Yeah.
did,
Yeah.
yes he did, yes he did.
Okay.
All right, he sent this gentleman that bought the piece of property. This gentleman is under the influence that he no longer owns his property because he filed bankruptcy, which when I talked to Pamela Scott this morning is not true.
Who did he write the ticket to, do we know, Paul?
He wrote it to Jeffrey and
Smothers, Brittany.
Brittany Smothers. They live in Gideon.
Is that the owners of that house?
That is the people that bought the house, and they are not aware. From what I have been told,
They didn't know they owned it, they still were liable for that piece of property after the foreclosure or whatever.
they had not foreclosed on it. When I talked to Pamela this morning, she said they have started, are able to start on foreclosures in this area, but now her area consists of a heck of a lot.
Right,
And
So
even
do we
in
know who the legal
Arkansas.
owner of that property is?
yeah,
It's
that's,
still-
If it hadn't been foreclosed, it would still
No,
be.
no, it's
I
not been.
understand, it has not been. If it has not been, then it's still,
it's still.
This-
in their
they can
name.
put on.
These people are still eligible to sell this piece of property, which absolutely blows my mind. But they're still eligible to sell the piece of property that if anybody wants to buy this piece of property, all they have to do is get it appraised, and whatever it is appraised for, that is what the house, they can buy the house for. And since they have since, I can't even think of the word I'm trying to say now, bankruptcy, since they filed for bankruptcy, they cannot go after them for whatever the difference is.
Right.
You could pick that house up for 20,
But they
as
sell
long
it.
as it's appraised for whatever it's appraised for.
but they're still on.
But as of right now, they still own it.
But these people are not aware that they own this house.
Yes, they are.
Yeah,
The thing that I've got is, the city is not doing anything about this. But yet, I remodeled my house, I put new siding, new windows and all in it, and the code enforcement agency come by and takes pictures of my house so y'all can raise the taxes, and I know that's what it's for.
That would be the county.
That would be
We
the
don't-
county.
County
assessors.
does,
It's not the city.
we don't have
we don't
city
charge
tax.
property
We
taxes.
don't charge.
That could be one of the assessors over the
The
county.
assessor's office that is
It's
doing that.
not the city.
But still,
Still,
the city needs to do something about this house. And I think your complaints tonight.
So,
Well,
you're trying to tell me that,
I know you can put a lien against it, and I know when the house is foreclosed on, and I know, or if the house is sold, you get your money up top. Before anything else is paid, whoever's got that lien, that is paid off first.
as far as the
Well-
time frame, Terry, what happens after we write the ticket?
Well, we write the ticket and they go to court, but we need two different processes. We also need to do something to abate it. We need to give them notice and have a separate hearing on the abatement of the nuisance, if it's a nuisance property. And we need to have a hearing on that and get an order for the city to go in and abate the nuisance, which would mean cleaning up the property, and then the lien would be put on the
How
property.
soon can we do that?
We can get it started this week.
Okay? When do we do that?
Is it 10 days?
yeah, there's furniture and everything else in this. I mean, it's ridiculous.
They left.
The ticket was due to be issued on the 28th. I believe that was that Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
28th of May?
Yeah.
Yes,
But a
that's when
ticket,
the ticket was due to be
here's
issued.
here's the problem with that. The ticket that would be issued on May 28th doesn't go to court till August the 2nd. I think
Yeah,
we
we
need to
can't
do
wait
something
that long.
quicker than that. So we need to start the process to abate the nuisance, to give the owners notice that, that we're going to, that we declared it a nuisance, and it's found to be a nuisance, that the city's going to abate the nuisance. And if the city has to, we're going to add that cost.
What's the minimum time frame that we have to allow for them to get the letter and all?
For 30 days.
It'll take a tree service 2 days just to get the limbs out of the backyard.
Well, we got to get to the point to get them, to start that. We got to go, you got to go through a process, you got to go through a hearing process in order for the city to be authorized to even do that. But we got to do that first. I mean, okay, it takes 2 days, but let's get up to that place where we get started and let it take 2 days.
So you can process everything.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
That process has,
So
the ticket's already been written for one aspect.
What I-
So
what-
the next
what I was-
step is the abatement process.
What I was told, they serve them with the ticket. They got, somebody said 7 days, another person told me 10, so let's say 7 to 10 days to reply. And if nothing is done then they get a 30-day warning. Then if nothing's done in that 30 days, then it's turned over to Judge Spillman. Judge Spillman does a court date. This
If
what
they-
you're,
If they write the ticket, then it's getting turned over to Judge Spillman. But
how long does it take to get turned over to Judge
that's
Spillman?
what I was trying to explain, that if a ticket was written last Friday, the next court date that ticket could be heard is August the 2nd.
So he's
So
trying,
So
you're
that's
talking-
what, so we're not trying to be in court. We're gonna have a
Oh.
separate administrative
Okay.
procedure
okay,
to where the city can
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 get
have a
it done
hearing
faster?
and the city can do it faster.
Okay, I'd appreciate that.
Yeah.
Paul, can you get a letter out and then 30 days from that time, set a hearing? Like we used
The
to.
fire committee
Yeah.
is the hearing,
Yeah.
committee.
Yeah, we got a meeting this time.
Yeah.
It's
Coming
for
Thursday.
We need to set up
I
a
mean,
time for a
we
hearing.
could discuss it.
So,
We don't do cap.
Is this a public hearing thing?
Yeah.
When do we
It's a
want?
state.
Are you kidding me?
Sure, yeah.
We haven't for like 5 years.
What was that,
The
Tina?
main study doesn't do anything for CAP, is that what I heard?
Well, we're a humane department, we don't do cap.
I was in cats. God, Kennett's loaded with cats. I have anywhere from 4, 5, or 10 crossing my backyard every day. I got one that loves to sit on my furniture on my front porch. He doesn't sit there long, once I find him.
So Thursday is gonna be the first day we actually can start on this.
Yes.
2 days from now.
All right,
Is when he gets
all
started.
right, all right. Then I'm gonna keep my mouth shut for a time,
No, you don't have to.
but believe me, I will open it again.
No, keep it open. Keep it open.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you. 610 Marie Cove.
Okay. Anyone else? Three, two, one. Okay, we don't.
Thank
need
you
any
very
closed
much for
session tonight.
listening.
Thank you.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn,
Did you?
Motion.
all in favor?
Aye. Hey, Paul.